Hi, I'm Nancy Frigo, and I am standing here at Dune Park Station, waving at our commuter train, which is heading east right now. And we're going to be speaking with President Mike Nolan regarding what's happening today and what's happening in the future here of our trains here coming to Northwest Indiana. Let's go on in. Hi Mike, thank you so much for meeting with me today and explaining some of the different things that we have going on here in Northwest Indiana with our commuter train line that's happening as we speak.
Yeah, Nancy, great to be here.
Thank you so much. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the project, as far as the beginnings of it, and kind of get our viewers here up to speed on what's going on.
Sure. When you say project, we really have two projects, about $1.5 billion of infrastructure investment coming here to Northwest Indiana, all starting to be constructed this year in the next 8 weeks.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
this is so exciting.
We've got the Westlake project, which is a 8-mile extension off of our main line from North Hammond down to the Munster-Dyer border, running down the Illinois-Indiana border, basically along the footprint of the old Monon Railroad.
Wow.
And, hats off to our predecessors who 30-some years ago had the vision to buy the railroad from the CSX when they were going out of business in that line and selling it. And they preserved it with the thought that someday someone would come along and put a commuter railroad in place. And here we are.
The true ultimate commuter, this train happening as urban renewal at its finest.
Yeah, and people had vision 30 years ago to make this happen, and then along the way we had so many people championing the effort. We all know about Pete Visclosky, our retired congressman, who pushed this project so hard, and on his way out saw it funded. And so we're really excited about Westlake, and as we are about the mainline South Shore system that is now being double-tracked between Gary, Indiana, and Michigan City.
Maybe you could explain a little bit about what exactly does that mean, because a lot of the viewers in the real estate industry, especially that are servicing the Northwest Indiana and the Chicagoland region all the way up to the Michiana, maybe explain a little bit about what that will entail from the future for what we're looking to do here.
Yeah, so the mainline system runs from South Bend to Chicago. It's a 90-mile route.
Okay.
It's over 110 years old. A lot of the trackage on that route is a single-track railroad. So I always describe it as, think of that construction zone where they're doing construction and there's one lane that's shut down, so the traffic goes one way, and then the flagger turns it around and everybody goes the other direction.
Right.
For most of our route, we're a single-track railroad. So in order for us to expand the system, to add more trains, to reduce time to Chicago and improve on-time performance, we're going to build a second track between Gary, Indiana and Michigan City, and we're going to add 14 new trains. We'll have a significantly improved on-time performance, well over 90% on-time performance, and we're going to reduce travel time. So Michigan City, as an example, will be about 65, 67 minutes from downtown Michigan City to downtown Chicago.
Wow.
Same as Naperville, Illinois, except here you have Lake Michigan on the doorstep. You have lower cost of living. You have quality of life opportunities that you don't have.
How many passengers would you say, or what kind of volume of passengers are we talking here that we can add to that?
So we're looking at probably doubling our amount of passengers over the next 20 years. And in my world, when you look at passenger counts, you invest in projects and you give a 20-year horizon. So over 20 years, the amount of passengers is going to more than double. On this line, day one, we're expecting more than 4,000 new riders a day on the South Shore line. And we've done studies. Our riders going to Chicago, they get the higher paying jobs. And on average, it's 40% more. And they come back here to Northwest Indiana and they spend that salary. So it's a real advantage.
The economic development and the growth in the region where this is happening at, I'm sure. Have you done some projections on that?
And I'm the beneficiary of them. The Regional Development Authority really authored those financial projections, but having been doing this with them for a number of years, there's huge investment that's coming in. They're predicting more than $2.5 billion of private sector investment over the next 10 to 15 years. I can tell you right now, we're already seeing huge amount, hundreds of millions of dollars of investment is now coming forward because the projects are funded, and we're starting construction here in March on both projects. So it's
March.
already happening.
March, like
March of this year.
2 more months from now.
7
When
weeks.
it gets a little bit warmer than where we're at today.
7 weeks from now, they will be in the ground,
That's
full force
amazing.
building.
Boots are on the
Yeah.
ground. It's ready
Yeah.
to happen.
Yeah.
So I guess, some of the questions that we have been asked was, what were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome to get to where we're at today from 2 months from now when this is actually happening?
Well, I started here in 2014. There was a lot of work that was done before then, planning work, getting community support, which was vital to make this happen. It's a bipartisan effort here in Northwest Indiana that we took down to the General Assembly. And through 2 different administrations, both Governor Pence, the then future Vice President Pence, and now Governor Holcomb, both have championed the Westlake and the double track projects. They've saw what these infrastructure improvements can do to bringing access to Chicago, which is the 3rd largest economy in the country, 8th largest in the world. We have such untapped potential over here in Northwest Indiana. We just needed to take that barrier. It took too long to get to Chicago. We didn't have enough service, and our on-time performance wasn't all that great.
Right.
We're going to turn those things around with these investments, make it attractive to live here. Now you couple that with lower cost of living. The property taxes here are half of what they are in Illinois. We make this a destination of choice. Over the years, we do a great job of educating our children, and then we export people. Now we're going to be importers because we've done the groundwork. We've done so many great things here on the park systems, bike trails, investing in quality of place opportunities. Now we leverage that with the opening up of the rail lines and really give people the opportunity to live, work, play here, and do the things that have been envisioned for years. From an economic side, the return on investment is huge.
Wow. So, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts of this, okay? Construction.
Sure.
Cost of construction, and as far as how many construction jobs has this brought to our region?
Well, certainly the cost of construction has gone up significantly. When we first started this project, inflation was running at 1% or 1.5%. It's well over 3% now, probably significantly more than that over the last few months. And so the construction pricing that we've seen has been a headwind. The project cost went up significantly. Now, on the plus side, the state of Indiana stepped up in a big way. Oh, wow. And I can't thank our partners at the Regional Development Authority and the Indiana Finance Authority, who've been our financing entities that are going to make this happen. Between the state contribution, the federal contribution, we're going to be able to match the increasing in construction prices. And that's going to pave the way for over 1,000 construction jobs on Westlake, and probably a similar amount for double track project.
Wow.
So we're talking a couple thousand well-paying jobs here over the next 2 to 3 years, and then long term, the RDA was projecting somewhere in the vicinity of 5,000 to 6,000 permanent jobs going forward as a result of the development that's going to happen on the project.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
That is amazing to put that many families in light of everything that's going on in our world.
Yeah, we've gotten tremendous support from the construction community, the trades, the contractors. They all see the need and the vision and the opportunity the projects bring.
Wow, 1,000, wow, on both, wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. You have got this passion inside of you, and it's just amazing to see this vision actually happen here in our lifetime, and I'm just thrilled to be able to be around this and be a part of this.
We received,
I can imagine how you feel.
Yeah, we received a full funding grant agreement from the Federal Transit Administration for both projects. Most regions are lucky to get one. It's quite a process to go through and get a full funding grant agreement from the feds. We got 2. Through the system. And again, hats off to our bipartisan support in the region, led by Congressman Visclosky, Governor Holcomb, then Governor Pence. Our General Assembly's been phenomenal. Our delegation here from Northwest Indiana, didn't matter whether Republican or Democrat, they were 100% behind this project. When the double track project got funded in 2017, between the 50 senators and the 100 representatives in the General Assembly, the vote between them was 145 to 5 in favor of these projects because of the return on investment. This is a conservative state. We're not doing this because it's great for transit. We're doing it because the return on investment is huge. All the other great things to come with it. It's environmentally friendly. It opens up opportunities for people. Our average family household income for a South Shore rider is about $90,000 on a household income. It's probably double the average for the region. So the more people we can get going into Chicago and making these wages and coming back and spending the money here, it's huge. And what we're doing as well is we're opening up opportunities for private sector development
Exactly.
right around the trains,
Exactly.
which we had really never did
No.
for years. I had people say, well, you've had the train system there for 100 years. Where's all this development? Well, you don't just close your eyes and open up and it's there. You got to work at it. You got to
Right.
build it. The communities up and down the line have seen that. The planners in these communities, the economic development teams are now focused on reimagining their downtowns and enticing developers and welcoming the development community to come and build in and around the train stations and offer that quality of life aspect. And with the train opening up opportunities to get to Chicago, they now have that amenity that they can sell. And so it's already happening. It's already happening.
It is. It's beautiful. And we have our national parks here.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That just recently happened, not that long ago, too.
It's fun talking to Paul Labowitz, who's the superintendent. He brags. He said, "I'm the only superintendent in the country that has a commuter railroad that services two, not one, but two national parks.
Yes.
Because we also serve Pullman.
Yes.
So not only do you have the National Lakeshore, but we also have the Pullman Historic District.
That's true.
Part of the national park system.
That's true.
So yeah, it's and having him get the designation, having the park get the national designation, it's always been a national park. But to be on that map, one of the 61 national parks, it just is huge for the region. It is a destination of choice for those park followers.
We truly are, I believe, is the crossroads of America in many ways, because we crossed to where we're bipartisan, we're unified.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of areas, especially in our day and age, but we embrace this diversity in our area and we welcome it. And having folks like you who are the leadership that just, you see this vision and you just went for it. And I cannot tell you how proud, and it's just a huge honor.
Well, look, also
with
too,
you.
and
Thank you.
you've seen this. This was grassroots. This
Yes.
wasn't me. This wasn't just Pete Visklowski. There were so many people that
Yes.
were involved in this at every step of the way, and it took a long time. And people stayed with the course on it and kept pushing. And then our delegation, with all the support they got from the local governments, from non-for-profits, from the business community, from the realtor, my God, Ganayar was all over behind us.
Yes, we were.
And saw the vision here and saw
Yes.
how important these opportunities are and what they can mean. And we're already, again, I'm already seeing huge developments occur, and we're not opening up until 2 years from now for double track, and
Let's
3
talk
years
about
from now
that.
for Westlake.
So we have 2 years from now, we have the double track, which is where we're actually sitting out
Yep.
here. And then let's talk about the Westlake. So talk about that. That's the following year.
Yeah, so for the double track project, we have 39 trains a day that go in and out of Chicago. We're adding 14 more trains, so
Okay.
we're going up to 53 trains when we open up service here in 2 years or so, right around March or April of 2024.
Okay.
It's going to reduce travel time, as I said. It's going to increase operational performance, so we'll go from 80% on time to well over 90% on time, and it's going to increase ridership. So significant amount of new service and improved service. Westlake is really a cool project because we're going to have what we call our gateway station in Hammond, where the South Shore line will be on its way into Chicago. We'll stop at the gateway station. Right there at that same station, elevated up in the air, will be the Westlake corridor. And so the Westlake corridor will start down at the border of Munster-Dyer. It'll come up the 8 miles to Hammond, and then there'll be this station there that serves both the Westlake corridor and the South Shore line. And so passengers will board at Munster-Dyer. We'll have 5 trains initially in the morning that go from Munster-Dyer, picking up people at Ridge Road, 173rd Street, and then Gateway Station, and then into Chicago.
Okay.
And then 5 trains at night will come back from, the rush hour trains will come back, and they'll come from Chicago, and they'll go all the way back to Gateway, 173rd Street, Ridge Road, and then Munster-Dyer. But we're also going to run 2-car shuttles that will run between Munster and Dyer and the Gateway Station. We'll run those all day long, all evening, and all weekends, so people can get on the trains on the off-peak service and ride from Munster-Dyer to Hammond. They'll take the stairs down and they'll jump on a South Shore train. They can go to Chicago. Hell, they can go to South Bend. They can go to Michigan City. People from South Bend can get on the train, go to Munster, go to the Gateway Station, get off, and go down to Munster. So this Gateway Station will allow people to go multiple directions.
Right. It'll be the nucleus to
It'll
where
be the nucleus,
goes
exactly.
everywhere.
And because this is a new service, typically a new services like Westlake, you normally start small. You only do
Okay,
these-
that's what I was going to ask you.
you
Because they're
normally
going to
just
say
you only
5 trains.
5 or 6 trains
Yeah.
each way. You
Okay.
do 10, 12 trains a day. We're going to have, because we can do the shuttle service, we're going to full service day one on Westlake. Now, they won't all be one-seat rides, but people have the opportunity to go from the region into Chicago and back and forth And if you miss the 9 o'clock train, that's the last rush hour train going to the city, you take the shuttle train, go to Hammond, and you pick up a South Shore train, and you go back and forth.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
It's a really neat aspect of the project.
That really is. That's amazing. And that had to been a lot of work putting that one together too, because that's been dormant forever, as long as I can remember, before, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I had
amazing.
someone who looked at the schedule one time when they realized we were doing it, and they simply said, "Elegant." What a word for it! It's unbelievable that we're able to do that and provide that additional service that usually takes decades to mature through.
I had not known that there was the shuttle.
Yeah.
You
It's
just taught
really
me
going to
something.
be fun.
I just learned something here. We with the program that we're putting together, the Boots on the Ground, which is truly what we're doing right now. We're the Boots on the Ground, and speaking to you is educating the world about what we're doing here. And I know that that had never been brought up before. So thank you for that. That's amazing. And we're seeing a lot of industries, and we're seeing a lot of on both sides of the state line, coming out and inquiring into what's really happening. So this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Truly, truly exciting. So as far as your vision of where we're going to go with this, so and I know that you've been involved with this forever, though. So just kind of recap with me the word that you would like for us to get out to the real estate community as far as finding any information on how we can we're going to try and keep track of this as we go along. But you had mentioned earlier to me before we had started the segment about you were putting a program together, I believe. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We are putting the finishing touches on our draft opening day schedules for both lines, and we should be ready to put those out here in the next 30 days or so.
Okay.
So watch for that. You can go to our website, just Google South Shore Line, and under our About pages, there are drop-down screens that describe what's going on for both Westlake and Double Trap, with maps and updates and press releases and everything you want to know to get an understanding of what the projects are.
Okay.
But we are going to be putting out that draft schedule, because that's really what it's all about.
Right.
Is people want to look at the schedule, and they want to look at where they're going to live, and they want to say, oh, here's my train opportunities, and here's how long it's going to take to get back and forth to Chicago. Because it's all going to be about where they want to live, where people want to live and relocate, and what service is available. So we'll have that out shortly. It'll be a tool that we can use and work with our friends at Commuter and the development community to say, here, this is what's coming. It's not going to be exact. There'll probably be some tweaks to it, but it's going to be pretty close to what we're going to run day one.
That's amazing. Would you have information on, for instance, say, well, here we have our trains. So say there's towns and cities and a little bit further away from where the train is located at. And has there been any talk of working together with the towns that are just not there, but a little bit further away to bring people to the train?
I'm glad you brought that up, because we really have an exciting pilot project with Valparaiso. They're running a Shuttle Connect service.
That's what I was wondering about. That's amazing.
To and from Valparaiso. They got a transit center in downtown. They have I think 2 stops, and then they meet the trains here at our Dune Park station. And so they're going back and forth between Valparaiso and Dune Park, so that individuals who want to take advantage of the South Shore service have a bridge to get there. I've already talked to Mayor Dermody in LaPorte. He's very interested in that kind of service as well. And that's what happens over on the Chicago system, on the Metro system. PACE runs shuttle bus services from the satellite communities into the communities that have the Metro service. And we need to do the same thing here.
That's exactly what I was going to talk with you about too, because we've had the questions on that. How are we going to get our clients or our people from Lowell or from Couts or Hebron or Crown Point to St. John to these commuter trains? So there has been things in the works with that.
Yeah, we're really excited about the opportunity for feeder bus or shuttle bus service to be positioned. So once we open up with the new opportunities on South Shore and Westlake, not just the communities that are on the line, but the communities that are off the line that have access to it, have a way to get their residents to and from, and they can benefit from the transit infrastructure investment as well.
Exactly, and I would think that in these towns and these cities that are going to be impacted by that, I think they all need to be aware of all this, because they need to plan for growth. We need parking lots. We're going to need places where people are going to be putting their cars, shops, stores, housing. I mean, I can't even imagine the projections on where we're going to go with that.
Sure, and
That's amazing.
everybody thinks about the stations that are along the line, but for the real estate community, you mentioned it. If you're in Valparaiso, you want to be able to sell someone who's relocating to the area and maybe he's working in Chicago. Well, what's the train service, and how do I get there? And certainly we have parking here. And we have parking in our facilities, and certainly a lot of people will do that. But having the feeder bus schedule and service on top of that, and that's something that's going to be something I'm working on for the next couple of years. I've talked to Ty Warner over at NERPC about the opportunity. We already have the pilot program that's exciting with Valparaiso. I mentioned Mayor Dermody. There's others. We want to see this grow and be positioned to be ready when we open up service in 24 and 25.
Oh, wow. I am so excited, and I cannot thank you enough for giving us this opportunity to speak with you and in our Boots on the Ground segment, and it's been just thrilling, to be here and discuss this with you in our South Shoreline station actually out here, so this is going to be really neat. We're going to go out and take a look at these trains here and just kind of get the feel of the vibe here is just amazing.
We're not in the what if. We're in the
it's happening
coming.
now.
Yeah, and our new slogan is
what's now.
Our new slogan is "Pardon our dust," because here we're building.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.